Do you like to fish, boat, sail, ski, tube, any of the fun things you can do on a lake? Well, today I'm going to show you one of Georgia's best kept secrets, and that's Lake Hartwell. I grew up on this lake and I know a ton about it. But today I'm going to give you some insight on why it is one of the best kept secrets and more people are moving here. You better jump on your opportunity to get on Lake Hartwell before it turns into Lake Lanier or Lake Oconee. Let's get to it. How's it going? My name is Winston Gibbs with the Living in Northeast Georgia channel. And I'm here to tell you everything there is to know about the lifestyle, the recreation, the entertainment, and the real estate from the metro Atlanta suburbs to Athens, Georgia, and Lake Hartwell, and everything in between. Make sure you hit the button to subscribe, hit the bell for notifications as I release more videos explaining why Northeast Georgia is one of the best places to live. Today, we're jumping into the Google Maps to check out my hometown, Hartwell, Georgia, and what makes Lake Hartwell special. Let's do it. So as you can see on this map, I have Lake Hartwell highlighted here. It's in red, outlined on our Google Maps. Now, a little bit of information about Lake Hartwell. It is actually split between Georgia and South Carolina. The line actually goes right here, as you can see, down this channel. All of this, you can kind of faintly see the South Carolina. That is the divide between Georgia and South Carolina. So a lot of it lies in South Carolina. It is actually the largest man-made lake in Georgia, but more of it comprises in South Carolina. So a lot of people think it's Lake Lanier, which I did a video on that a few months back. You can go check it out. But a lot of it does lie in Georgia. Lake Hartwell is almost 60,000 acres and has 900 miles of shoreline. So there is a lot of shoreline and a lot of places to live. I grew up down here around this area of the lake. And Clemson, South Carolina, Tigers, there's some fans of them up here. I'm a dog fan. Clemson is up here and their stadium is actually on the lake. By boat, I can go from my parents' house all the way up to Clemson in about an hour, hour and a half, depending on traffic and water conditions and all that stuff. So it's crazy all the different places you can go. A lot of people may recognize Hartwell as if they've traveled much. As you can see, I-85 goes from Greenville and crosses right through the lake a couple different places. And that's going to take you all the way into Atlanta. So Hartwell, when I moved here way back in 1998, was just a little quiet small town. Now, as Atlanta has spread and Greenville has spread, it has become a hotbed for places for people to either retire and move to, or for people to buy vacation homes and rental properties, Airbnbs. It is a great spot for all those things. It's a great place to raise a family. It's a great place to retire to, and it's a great place to vacation to. Because of its size, you don't feel as cramped as you do maybe some of the other lakes like Lanier or Oconee, or if you go up north, Lake Burton or Lake Raven, some of those other ones. It has very large channels. Let's jump into a little bit more about Lake Hartwell and what you should know. There are three main towns on the Georgia side of Lake Hartwell, and I'm going to talk about the Georgia side. If you're interested in the South Carolina side, a lot of these same rules are going to apply. If you are interested or find something on the South Carolina side, I can 100% help you over there as well. But I know the things to look for. So there's three main towns on the Georgia side, Lake Hartwell, and three counties. The first county, and I actually mentioned this county in a video that I recently did on the best small towns around Athens. So we're only about an hour from Athens. See, about an hour to Athens. And then since we're talking about the towns, I'll jump into the counties in just a second. Greenville, again, only about an hour depending on what side you go to. Anderson, South Carolina, where a lot of the lake is. Anderson's only about 30, depending on where you go, what part of the lake you're on, about 30 minutes. You have 30, 45 minutes. Again, getting around the lake, maybe depending on where you're at, can change your drive times to some of these places. And then also just towns you'll recognize, Gainesville, Georgia. Gainesville is about an hour and 15 minutes. And then if you want to get into the city, the big city, Atlanta's about 2.5 hours. I mean, right now it's like 4 o'clock. So you're getting a little bit of traffic on 85. You can see the red over there. And then might as well list one more bigger city, Augusta. Augusta's only about 2 hours. The cool thing about Hartwell or Lake Hartwell, is even though it's a small town, and all three of these towns I'm going to talk about on this side are small towns, you can get to a bigger city really quickly within an hour. Some of the big ones in 2 hours, Augusta and Atlanta. But Gainesville, Athens, Greenville, Anderson are all under an hour to get to. And so some of those big amenities, if you need certain healthcare needs, that are beyond what the local hospitals can do, you can get over there pretty quickly. Or maybe some of the bigger shopping needs, you can get over there quickly. But for basic day-to-day living, unbelievable, and you're gonna have all the resources that you need. So let me start back to where I was with the 3 different counties. The first one is Hart County with the county seat of Hartwell. That's where I grew up. I love this area of the lake. It is a well-known part of it. And where I grew up, Reed Creek, as you can see right here. A lot of people are like, oh, you know where Reed Creek is? Yes, I know where Reed Creek is for sure. And there's a lot of great spots in the Hart County area. The second county is Franklin County. You're gonna see Franklin County as I zoom in, big county, known more for their agriculture, farmland, and those kind of things. And then they have a large stretch of that I-85 that runs through it. They have a lot more of 85 in here, as you can see within these red borders. They have a stretch of the lake right here, mainly around the Gumlog area, which a lot of people know about Gumlog as well. There's an old barbecue fish shack out there, unbelievable food. But they have this Tougaloo State Park. And then the final part is Stevens County. And you'll see it has a lot of shoreline running all through here. Now, one of the interesting things about the Stevens County part of the lake is you're gonna see it's a lot smaller, more channeled. That's where the Tougaloo River has come through, and that's one of the parts where they dammed up. Multiple dams created this lake. But the other interesting thing is you see the topography here. You're really getting into the base of the Appalachian Mountains. Toccoa Falls is a famous area. So some of these places up here, you may have steeper sides, which may not be as desirable, but you are gonna be higher, may not have as many flat areas to go for your docks and stuff. So that's one of the things to keep in mind when you're looking for the lake properties. But these are your 3 main counties on the Georgia side of Lake Hartwell. If you've seen my videos in the past, there's gonna be 3 things that are really important about buying or looking for lake property, or if you're wanting to rent, maybe you want to come vacation here for a bit as you rent a boat, go out and about. You're looking for a couple different things. You want big water, you want deep water, and you want good water. So deep water makes pretty common sense. You want enough water at the end of your docks to where you can, move your dock in and out, because the Lake Hartwell is a Corps of Engineers lake, and it's run by hydroelectricity through the Hartwell Dam, which is located right here. Powers a lot of energy through the Savannah Authority River District because it connects. There's Lake Kiwi above us and there's Lake Clark Hill below us. And it goes, the main river that flooded or filled, created Lake Hartwell was the Savannah River, which runs right up through here. This was all the Savannah River. A lot of the places you want good water. So the depth, if the lake comes in and out through maybe droughts or maybe they're pumping more energy, you want deep water. You want good water, good view of your water, because sometimes there's longer walkways down to the lake. Sometimes there aren't. It's very similar to Lake Lanier. You want deep water. You may not want to be on one of the, I'm just gonna give you an example. You may not want to be like out on one of these points in the big channels, but maybe something like this in this little cove where you can get out into the big channels would be easy to maintain. So you want to have that access to the deep water, because sometimes when you get up in some of these small little nooks and crannies, you may not have as much room to get around. It may be a little bit rougher. Just a lot of different things to take into consideration. If you're in the big water, you may get more bumpy, more boat traffic. So all those things are going to go into consideration when you're looking to buy your lake house. So good water, deep water, big things right there. Now, another thing that I want to talk about, Lake Hartwell has what's called 3 different shore zones. So I'm going to go over here. There's the green level, or the green shores, green lines, yellow lines, and red lines. And there's different protections and abilities to build. Lake Lanier has no more building permits, no more dock permits on the lake. I mean, it is at capacity. Lake Hartwell still has availability, mainly due to its size. If I go to this map, this is a very rudimentary look at Lake Hartwell. But what it's gonna do, I'm gonna zoom in a little closer. I'm gonna go to section 2 here, section 2. And I chose section 2 because I know this part of the lake very well, because this is where I grew up. But I just wanna give you an idea of what we're looking at. You can see all these different highlights. The red right there, there's some yellow right there, and a lot of green. So I'm gonna zoom up over here, because this is actually where I grew up. So you get a little bit of everything. This is Old 29. This is the road. I grew up off of this road. So you're gonna see red points here, yellow points there, green sections there. The big difference between those, say you're looking maybe to buy a lake lot, or you're at a house, you're looking at a house and it's like, why does it not have a dock? Or why can I not put a dock there? Well, 50% of this lake is green level, green striped, green lined. And that means it is open to put a dock there. Now there are regulations for different places on how big your dock can be, how long your walkway can be, and those different things, but there's 50% of the lake is allocated for that. The red zones is about 26% of the lake, and these are like public recreation areas. You're gonna see Long Point is a public recreation area, Hart State Park, Hart Marina, recreation areas. When you get over here to Elrod Ferry, these are recreational areas that aren't meant to be tampered. You can't put docks on them. They're for public access, public use, and preservation, wildlife preservation. And then the yellow zones like these are areas that are limited restriction. So maybe you've been grandfathered in at some point as the rules have changed. Maybe you can have a dock there, or a dock was there previously. But now it's about 24% of the lake is yellow zoned. And again, it's more of a protection because they want to keep the lake beautiful. They don't want all the trees taken down. They want to keep the natural beauty of it. And so some of these areas, and it may be different reasons. Maybe the shoreline isn't deep enough to put docks, or maybe it's long and shallow. And so there's varying reasons for this. But sometimes maybe they'll have an apartment complex where you have this, where they put one big dock. Just lots of different things go into that. But if you're looking, make sure you pay attention to, what kind of shoreline? Am I in a green section, a red section, or a yellow section? Because there was a great piece of property over here that was for sale, but it was in a yellow area, so it was restricted. You couldn't put a dock there, and a lot of people want the dock. Now, as far as houses on the lake, let's jump into that real quick, and then I'll tell you a little bit. I'll show you a couple other places on the lake that are fun that I think you should take note of. Currently on the lake, I'm jumping into the MLS. Currently on the lake, this is for Hart, Franklin, and Stevens on the Georgia side. You got 62 active houses. The highest listing is going to be $2 million. Now, Lake Hartwell hasn't developed and grown, and the prices hasn't jumped as high as like a Lake Lanier, Lake Burton, or Lake Oconee. I mean, there's only like 10 houses that are listed above $1 million right now. But your average price that's sold is around the mid 700s. And then you'll see that's the average price that's listed right now. $750 is the average price. Minimum price, $55,000 is kind of probably not accurate, but you're going to see a $270, $220. Mobile homes are still available on Lake Hartwell. So sometimes someone may say, hey, I can get this mobile home right here on the lake. I'll live there for a little bit, tear it down, and eventually build something that I want. So you do have options like this. Like here, Lightwood, unbelievable location, close to town, but it's a mobile home, and maybe it needs a little bit of love. I've actually seen that one, but live there for a little bit. Maybe you're in Atlanta or Greenville, come for the weekend. Eventually you want to retire here. You can get it while it's still good. Last year, just talking about solds, I kind of want to show you the same statistics. 137 properties were sold on the Georgia side. Average price was around $760. The highest one sold for $2.2 million. So, and the lowest was $50,000. May have been a lot, may have been a rundown property, but you'll see some of them are beautiful and elegant property. Toccoa, Livonia, Hartwell, they're all over the place, depending on what you look for. So you'll kind of see some of these beautiful homes. Then one of the other things I did mention was land, and I want you to be able to see that as well. These are properties, this is land only that was sold. You had about 36 properties of land that were sold. Anywhere from like $2 million was probably like a commercial development, but normally they're around the $300,000 mark. That's a good idea. And then if you go back to currently listed, there are 33 lots right now. And you see the lots going, and you'll see some that are 0.2 of an acre all the way up to like, 2-3 acres, but it's hard to find those. And probably it's only a little bit of shoreline. You want to check your shoreline length if you're looking for it. How much actual shoreline is on your property, right? Because it depends on your setbacks for other docks. But that's a little bit about that. Your average price per house, you're looking at square footage, usually being in like a great deal is if you can get into the 200s. Most of them you're going to see in the $300 per square foot, and you'll see some pushing in the 400 and 500, depending on how nice the house is, the size of it, the renovations, also the depth of the water conditions, water quality, how nice the dock is. There's a lot of things that go into that. Mid 300s, upper $300 per square foot is usually where your happy medium is there. So going back to this map, a couple cool things. Lake Hartwell's awesome. You got easy access to different places. You got 3 different towns you want to choose from. But just to highlight a few awesome places to go on the lake. If you're out cruising, you want to take a visit, I'm going to give you a couple spots that I think you should really check out. One of those, number 1, would be Boathouse Grill at the Hartwell Marina. It's right here in town. You're going to be able to get gas. They got awesome food. They got live music all the time on Fridays and Saturdays. It is a hot spot to be on the lake. Now, because we're talking about Lake Hartwell, not just the Georgia side, another awesome spot I love is JR Caches. It is right across the way. You saw that pop up. The Hartwell Dam is right here. My parents' house is right around this area. I can get there quicker by boat than I can by land because I got to come all the way around. But JR Caches, unbelievable setting. I mean, when you're sitting there on the porch, the sun's setting over there, it is absolutely gorgeous. Open aired place to go. There's also the marina right next to it. Another really cool one, the Galley Restaurant Marina up in Anderson, South Carolina. Now, just to give you reference, really close to the interstate up here, you're gonna see different gas stations and stuff close. You'll have gas stations right off the lake, which is crazy. But you'll see it's a little bit farther up in South Carolina. Now, personally, I've only been up by boat in these areas a couple times, so my knowledge isn't as good of the water qualities and where to go. But anything on this side of the interstate, I know it pretty daggone well. So those are some good spots. Gumlog is you saw me, the Gumlog right over here. There's a nice little restaurant up in that area. And then the last thing that I want to highlight, those are some good restaurants. I can do a video on schools and stuff later. The hospital, there's a hospital in Livonia, hospital in Toccoa. Anderson has really good hospitals if you need those things. Lots of awesome areas around there. Clemson Stadium, let me just show you that. Clemson Stadium is up here. You can see it's right there. All right, so I had a little bit of technical problems. My mic apparently ran out of battery and didn't notice it. So I talked for a few minutes. That's why I'm in a different outfit and a different location. But let's get back to what we were saying. Memorial Stadium, as you can see, it is on Lake Hartwell. If I zoom out just a little bit, you can get to the lake. There's different places around here where you can pull in, you can park, you can do different things on the lake. And people will literally pull their boats up, go to their tailgates, ride back. You'll see houseboats, you'll see all kinds of stuff. You know, as a dog fan, I'm not a huge Clemson person. Hartwell, the town that I grew up in, that we're talking about, is about probably 30% Clemson fans, 70% Georgia fans, and then you got a few other people, but for the most part, it's right up there. Clemson's an awesome place to go visit. From the south side of the lake, it's probably going to take 45 to 50 minutes to get up there by boat down from where I'm from, which is the very southernmost part. As I zoom out, let's zoom out real quick so you can see. I mean, I'm from way down in this part of the lake. You have to cross 85 and go all the way up there. So just an idea. I'm going to zoom back in because on the map, we're also going to talk about one of my favorite hobbies, as y'all know, is golf, and it's the Walker course here. Now, I have not played the Walker course, as you can see, but I've heard the Walker course is absolutely beautiful. You can see some of the holes are literally right on the lake. Great golfing experience. My dad's played it. I got friends that have played it. It's really on my bucket list because most of the university courses that I have played are amazing. Again, by land from Hartwell, you're probably looking at an hour. But talking about other golf courses on the lake, as we go into things that I really enjoy. If you go to a different part of the lake, we're going to talk about Currahee Club. You don't see any water right there, but it is one actually over this green right there. You can see the lake in the background. But as I zoom out, Currahee Club is up here close to Toccoa area. As I zoom out, again, here's the lake, here's the Hartwell area. You'd have to take this alley all the way up. By boat, it's going to take me over an hour to get there. I would probably not recommend it depending on what part of the lake you're on. But Currahee Club is absolutely beautiful. The elevation, the hills, some of the views of the lake are beautiful. Now, none of the holes are actually on the course, but it does have options. If you play with a member, it's one rate. They got a lot of tournaments out there. Now, one last golf club that is not on the lake, but since we're talking about the Hartwell area, is Katichi Golf Course. And as you can see, they have new ownership at this place, and it's where I grew up playing, where I learned a lot of my golf. But Katichi is really close to lake access. If you want a golf retreat weekend, you're not from here, you want to check out the area, maybe you're thinking to move to Lake Hartwell, I would highly recommend looking at Katichi. They got stay and play options. They've got a bed and breakfast little area. They got some suites at the course. It is absolutely stunning. And as you can see here, there are some beautiful views out there as well. Very fair course, very tough. But Katichi is a great golfing option if you're looking into it. And while I'm here, you see this little nod right here. That's Hartwell Golf Club. If you're looking for more of a public option, because Katichi's public, you can get onto Currahee, you can get onto Walker Course. But if you're looking for an extremely affordable round, You're looking at about 45 bucks to play Hartwell Golf Club. Lots of fun. Katichi for a guest, for non-members, about 85 bucks. Currahee going to be over $100, but again, really good option. As you just saw, let's move it into a little bit more recreation, and then we're going to tie this thing up. There's lots of different campgrounds on the lake. There's one right here, Big Oaks Recreation Area. Unbelievable place. Say you don't live on the lake, but you live around the Hartwell area. You're wanting to go experience it. Big Oak is a great place to go visit. Lots of recreational areas there. This area right here, as I'm highlighting, more on the south side, is called Long Point. That's another large recreational area. Here you got Sadler's Creek State Park. That's a big recreation area. Big Water Marina and Campground right there. These are just on the south side. There's a lot more stuff as you can continue to go up. Now, one that I do want to highlight, because a lot of these recreational areas also have boat slips, and you have them throughout the entire lake area, but you have the Gum Branch Mega Ramp. Again, I know this because this is close to where I grew up, and you know, my area. But if you look at Gum Branch Mega Ramp, it has like 6 different slips you can put in, and it's just a beautiful area. They'll host, I've heard, we live close enough, and you can hear them dropping in at 5 in the morning, summertime, big fishing tournaments, stuff like that, where you'll hear all the boats going out. It's really cool. But you have a lot of these facilities throughout the lake. You have the Lake Hartwell, the Lakeside Park over here, which is a really cool area. As you keep going, Carter's Ferry is another boat ramp recreational area. Reed Creek has tons of them throughout here. Paynes Creek Campground is an extremely popular campground on the Georgia side of the lake. Tougaloo State Park is another state park, big popular area, because this is the Tougaloo run of Lake Hartwell. So yeah, those are a bunch of the different areas. You know, just some of the fun things you can do in and around the Hartwell area. I can't remember when I started this, but you'll also have like sailboating regattas. There is over here, as we continue, let me get back over here. There is over this way, there's a huge sailboating campground just past Sadler's Creek, and you'll see hundreds of sailboats. And in the summertime, they do a big regatta where all the boats go out. You can see it. It's a really cool display of other people's hobbies. And just as an idea, I want to give one last little shout out. I'm going to highlight the map. Lake Hartwell, you can see it's outlined here. It's an awesome place, honestly. Lake Hartwell, whether you're going to Livonia, Hartwell, Toccoa, Anderson, Greenville, whichever area of the lake that you're looking at, there are wonderful views. There's a wonderful place to get out. Enjoy the recreation of your type, whether it's swimming, paddleboarding, kayaking, boating, skiing, fishing. There's so much to do on Lake Hartwell, and it is one of the hidden gems of Northeast Georgia, and one of the most desirable places to go. One of the best bangs for your buck. So I would highly recommend it. And if you got questions, comment down below. Make sure you hit the button to subscribe to my channel. Hit the bell for more notifications as I release videos that tell you what makes Northeast Georgia amazing. So I'm here to tell you about the recreation, the entertainment, the lifestyle, and the real estate from the suburbs of Atlanta to Athens, Georgia, all the way up to Lake Hartwell and everything in between, why I think Northeast Georgia is one of the best places to live. I'm Winston Gibbs with the Living in Northeast Georgia channel, and I'll see you at the next video.